Alrighty guys, we're gonna go ahead and start. So a couple of new faces today, so I'm just gonna introduce myself. My name is Lizy Hoeffer. I am a mortgage loan officer with Guild Mortgage. I've been a power partner with my home group since basically it started at Agent 40, that's when I joined. I am credible to teach this class because I've actually built my entire business on this. And so a couple of years ago, before I started this, I was what they consider a top producer. We did, basic, online leads, sat open houses, did a whole bunch of prospecting. And then I actually got fired from my job in a very surprising way, like most people get fired. And I had to rebuild everything and start up with, my database, right? And really get a whole bunch of people behind me, supporting me. And the funny thing is, I learned that with these database strategies, that I could convert a business that was technically top producing into something that's like record breaking. So 5 years ago, I closed 167 deals. This year last year I closed 810, and this year we're gonna close over 950. So I can tell you that in 5 years, with really putting pressure on areas that you're good at, right? Like, so people who know and love you, right? You can do things that are beyond your wildest imaginations, regardless of where you're at today in your business. So all I need from you guys is that you're just like here to learn. I need you to be very excited. I need you to be engaging, because the less energy I have from you, the harder it is to teach this class. So are we cool with that?
Yes.
Are you good with me teaching you today?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to lead a little louder, but yes. So yes?
Yes.
Alrighty. So before we hop into this, I just want to just kind of nail a couple of things that make you guys apprehensive about selling to people that you know and like. And then obviously, how do you feel about leveraging the holidays to build your database? So who wants to go first? How are we feeling about this?
Ready.
Ready to go? Okay. So a lot of reconnecting.
Yeah.
What are your plans?
For the holidays?
Yeah, like how do you feel about like just
great. Like I saw your poll the other day. I wanted to add an extra one because like I'm all about it, but I need some planning. I don't have it planned.
Cool. So a lot of times what I get when I tell people, I'm like, oh my god, the holidays are like, it's where it's at, it's how we should build our databases. People automatically go, well, I don't want to be salesy at Christmas. Like, or it just feels dirty. It's just like, I don't want people to look at me that way. Like, this is our time to socialize. This is my time to see them, right? And so if that is a barrier for you, like well, first of all, let's get a show of hands. Is that a mental block for you? Like, you don't want to come off as salesy to the people that you know and love. Okay, so a couple of you. If you haven't been marketing to your database, why?
I do, but that's always a concern. Like, even just to not come off as too salesy. Like, whether you're doing an event or you're doing something to people you know.
Okay. Why haven't you started before?
It's sporadic. I'm not consistent with it.
Okay, so you have no aversion, it's just not consistent.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say it's salesy. It's getting to see people you haven't seen in a while and reconnecting and, having a conversation. Just reminding them, hey, I'm here for you.
Awesome. So if there was something that bothers you, I want to show you a couple of frameworks that are going to be really, really helpful in moving forward. It'll help you with consistency. And it should help you understand that your job, while you're solving the external problem of helping people find a house, you're really solving whatever internal problem they came with, right? So what you have to think of if you ever have an aversion and never want to seem like a salesperson is that you're not selling anything, you're solving a problem. And you're not solving every real estate problem, okay? So you have to be really clear about that. There's a certain niche or a certain clientele that you are awesome at solving their problems, okay? So for me, that's first-time homebuyers. I am awesome at solving their problems. I know down payment assistance programs, I know low down programs, I know credit information, I know DTI workarounds. I mean, I am really good at solving their problems. Not to mention, I know that their problems have to deal with the cost of buying a home and understanding the process, okay? So if that is the people that I'm helping right now, right, then basically all I need to do and focus on is how I provide solutions for them. So first thing you should write down, guys, is figure out what problems you are solving. Okay? Now, everybody is going to have the problem of where do I live? Like, that's just what it is. Everyone will have that. You buy and sell homes. Yes or no? Okay? That's the external product or problem that you have, right? The internal problem, right, is more what baggage they bring with them, okay? So I know that first-time home buyers, they have a fear of money, right? They have a fear of getting into this large investment. They don't have a whole lot of funds saved, right? That's a money mindset issue. It's like, I've got to be able to talk them through that and help them see their pathway to success, okay? But it might be like, you know, if you have a move-up buyer, right, then they don't know what to do with the equity that they got from their primary residence, or they want to make an investment for the first time, but they're too scared, or they want a deal. They feel like everyone's screwing them over, right? Have you ever talked to those people who just want a deal, right? Just want you to take 1% commission, right? Okay, so they have an internal story that you have to speak to, okay? And then there should be some sort of philosophical thing, okay? Like, what bigger picture, like, do you help contribute to? So for me, again, I'm first-time home buyers. I deal with lots of people's money problems. But essentially, guys, I'm like for the little guy. I just want to see those guys succeed. I want to see them get ahead. I want to see the regular person know how to invest in real estate and make money, right? That's the philosophical thing, right? So if you can learn to communicate these things, any conversation that you have about real estate will sound a whole lot different than, oh my God, great to see you, how's the market? And you're like, great. And then it stops, right? It's great, I've never been busier. Or great, you know, or you say something that's like kind of about the market that you heard somebody else say and you're just like splitting it out, okay? It'll be like, oh my God, it is such a crazy seller's market right now. You would be so surprised to have these two buyers that are looking for a property and they just keep getting outbid. It is just nuts right now. So honestly, if you know of anyone who is willing to sell their house but they don't, like, they're not able to go on the market right now, I'd love to know their make me move price because I've got buyers, right? That's a legit thing, right? Because you know what to say, because you know what problem you're solving, and then you're just telling people about the problems you're solving. Does that make sense? And everyone can become a part of your story. Does that make sense? Okay. With sales and with marketing, guys, this is the important thing, and you should write this one down. This is a good nugget. Okay? If in your marketing or in your conversations with people, you are the hero, right? You won't be selling very much stuff, right? No one likes the show me the money guy. No one likes the person that's like, because of me, right? Like, it's a weird thing. People just resist that. You want people to be your hero. And if anything, you're the guide, okay? So you'll show them what to do, but they're gonna do it and they're gonna be the winner, okay? So when you say, you know what, I could really use your help, right? Who's the hero? Right? You're telling them what you need, which makes you the guide, right? But they're the hero, right? If you let them get a say in your business or give you tips and, you know, let them give you their opinions, guess who's also the hero? They are, especially if they give you a good one, right? So let people buy into your story, okay? But you cannot be the hero. Do not be the show me the money guy. Do not be the person that's like, oh my God, I won this award and this award and this award and this award and I'm badass. Okay, people have to go, God, I helped them do that. That is so great. I'm so excited for that person. Okay? So does this make sense, yes or no? Okay, because this is the foundation for how we communicate. The other thing is, you want to write this down, okay? Because if you don't know how to have a proper conversation, and you won't be consistent, and then also, like, it just feels icky and people can tell when you're not being authentic, okay? So this is like how you should communicate. Have any of you guys ever seen that communication pyramid? Okay, if you haven't, Google it. Michael Mayer has this great communication pyramid, and it basically talks about how, you know, the areas where you're going to have the highest conversion don't typically have the highest number of leads, right? So, like, you can only make so many face-to-face visits, right, in a day, right? So you'll do fewer of them, but they'll have more impact versus sending out 5,000 emails, okay? So the smaller the item, the more impact it has. It's the same with this when you're talking about how to communicate and where you provide value, okay? So this is called a ZOG, okay? Don't roll your eyes, but it's called your zone of genius, okay? I know, it's funny, I've gotten better at saying it out loud, but it's a zone of genius. It's a thing that, like, if you had to talk about it all day long, you would spring up like a jack-in-the-box. You cannot wait to do it, okay? Very few people feel that way about a real estate transaction. Tori Ellens actually is the only person I know that feels that way about a real estate transaction. So I don't feel that way about a mortgage either, I'll be honest. But if I'm talking to you about investments and money and business strategy, I am like all up in that, okay? I am super excited. So what's one or two things that make you so excited, you are so passionate, and can you relate them to real estate, right? This should then help you figure out what solutions are. If you're good at decorating or organizing or budgeting, right? These are all things, essential skills that people will need if they are moving, okay? So figure out where you're the most passionate, okay? Now I've had people say, I'm like interested in wine, okay? Okay, well, good thing is maybe you're gonna host a lot of events, okay? That's not a bad thing, because we're gonna talk about that in a minute. But like, let's say you love wine. Well, wine is very closely related to architecture, right? And architecture is something you can talk about with real estate, and you can connect the two, right? There's similar areas, right, where you might find an equal passion, right? But you gotta figure out how you're relating it to your business, okay? Then, there's things that you are great at talking about, okay? So things that you're good at talking about, if people mention them, you have the answer, you're great at talking about them. Then it's competent, okay? So what do you know? This is real estate. This should literally be real estate. What's going on in the market, what's going on in interest rates, but you should have like what you're competent in, and then what you're learning, okay? It's okay to talk about things you're learning so long as you disclose that you're learning, okay? And then there's the don't know or don't care, right? So this circle is like infinite. It goes just out into the universe, okay? Here's what most people try to do, okay? Most people, like right now, how many of you guys know what an inverted yield curve is? Right? 2 people really know what an inverted yield curve is, but everyone is going to be talking about it because it's all up in the news. And so here's what will happen. You will have somebody talking about an inverted yield curve, and they'll be like, well, what do you think? Right? Or because you saw me do it, you might think that then you have to talk about it, right? Because you think it's all in the news, that this is something, and your FOMO is like out of control, and you're like, I've got to get in there, I've got to talk about rates, and I've got to talk about this. And so then people start here, right, and they head in here. Because people feel that their zone of genius is so small, right? Like it's too niche, no one's going to be interested in the things that you're interested in. Okay, so people generally start from the areas where there's the most info, right? And then they go into what they're learning, what they're competent in, great, right? It's weird. If you start with what you are the best at and move outward, right, you will find that you always have something to talk about. You are always knowledgeable, always excited, and then people will go, gosh, that's the person, right? So because I talk about money a lot, I actually got phone calls about the inverted yield curve. People are like, well, you would know, you know about money. And I'm like, well, I have to tell you, I'm going to have to research that because I don't know obscure financial terms, you know, but I will get back to you on that, right? But the cool thing is they thought of me when they heard it, and they felt that I would be an expert, right? So I've gained their respect, number 1, and their trust, number 2. Okay? So, but I spend a lot of my time talking about money strategy. I have a YouTube channel on money tips. I do stories on money. I mean, this is a thing that makes me excited, so I talk about it all the time. Okay, so when I'm at my holiday parties, do you think that people aren't going to be talking to me about money and what's going on with the economy and, hey, is there going to be a recession? Absolutely. You know why? Because I've given them an area where I am an expert. Okay, so if you're an expert in wine and you're always talking about wine, do you feel that people will call you and say, hey, you know what, I want to give a really great bottle of wine to a client. Or I want to host a party, what do you think? Or I'm hosting a Christmas dinner, what do you suggest? Right? Do you think that they would think of you as a point of reference? And get this, there's this magical thing that happens when you start helping other people. They're like, hey, thank you so much. Is there anything I can do for you? And because you know what solutions you're solving, you'll be like, you know what, there is. I actually have a listing that I cannot offload, and I am just trying to bring in any buyers into this area. Do you know of anyone who's looking to purchase right now? That's what that should sound like, okay? Right? If people are asking how they can help you, tell them how they can help you. Like, you should write that down. I will tell them how they can help me. I'm actually looking for another buyer right now. Honestly, I just sold off my last home, and I'm just looking for the next person who's wanting to get their home offloaded in 30 days or less. Okay? Does that all make sense? Because this is like the baseline for good combos, right, in the holidays. Okay? So a couple of things you guys should be, so I wrote down the 10 best ways that I actually market in the holidays, okay? Right? And so we're going to go through them one by one. I want to hear your questions and your ideas, and if you've done something similar, right? You can all learn from things here. So I just want you guys to be very collaborative, okay? So first things first, how many of you guys have a Christmas list? Or not a holiday card list? Okay? Great. That's a lot of you in the room. That's awesome. How often do you update it?
Once a year.
Do you really update it once a year?
When I send out cards.
You know what? I suck. I basically took my wedding list. Yeah, right. Though I sent wedding invitations like 7 years ago, 8 years ago. Oh God. And I just use it. And when I get a rejection back, then I call them. I'm like, whoa, you moved? Like that's a terrible way. That's reactive instead of proactive. Okay. So what I think you guys should do is you should gather a list of a minimum of 150 people that you know and like. Okay? 150 people that you know and like. Okay? And you're going to need their phone number, you're going to need their email address, and you're going to need their social media wherever they are, if they're on a Facebook account, if they're on Instagram, or that's LinkedIn, I guess. Right? Wherever they hang out on social. That's what you want on your list now. Right? Because we are now in a new age of communication, you've got to get there. Okay? And you should find out their preferred method of communication. Do they like an email? Do they like a text message? Do they like a DM? That's a direct message for you oldies. I just learned that. Okay, so you need to know, and I thought it was like private message, but I guess it's direct message, just so you guys know.
It used to be PM, but
was it
now
real?
it's DM.
Yeah, I know. I just learned that, so I'm feeling like pretty good.
Yeah.
Right? I feel like I'm in the know.
That's just a Facebook thing to say PM. I mean, it's just,
I think he used
Well, you know where I found out it was? You're gonna laugh. On a rap song.
going down the
Lizzo? Yeah. I was like, DM. I'm like, what is that? Slid up in my DMs. I was like, what? Anyway. I digress. Okay, so the thing is, here, you want to find out if you do not have their phone number, right, or their email address. Social media is a phenomenal way of getting a hold of people. Okay? Almost every single person will have a social media account, and most likely they'll have Facebook, and Facebook will be connected to their phone number and their email. Okay? So even though you may not have their updated contact information, you can still phone them through Facebook. Yes. You can still make a phone call through Facebook. It's brilliant. Okay? So I would come up with 150 people. Now, here's what you have to do. If you get to a person and you do not like them, like your gut goes, ugh, I don't want to talk to them, okay, unless they're absolutely family and you're going to be like shunned if you don't send them a holiday card, delete them. Okay? You will not want to prospect if you have like a lot of emotional barriers. If like the first 10 people that you call are icky, if they're dirty calls, you're just like, I'm not going to do this. Right? So just get rid of them. Like, free yourself from that emotional weight. So, but 150 people minimum, you really want to get around 300 people. Okay? All of you guys have been alive for more than 20 years, so you guys know more than 300 people. In fact, I tried to delete a bunch of Facebook friends the other day, and I definitely know 2,000 people. Isn't that crazy? Like, I'm like, well, I do know them, right? And if I saw them in a grocery store, and I'm pretty sure they'd recognize me, and I definitely would recognize them, you know them. Okay? Right? So you want to get this, and you just want to call, and you just want to say, hey, I'm updating my holiday list. You're somebody that I thought of, right? And I don't know how I lost contact with you, but I love your updated contact information, right? And then do you prefer a greeting card, or do you like a physical mail piece, right? And then that'll let you know if they're a digital person or not. What's the best way to get a hold of you? How the heck are you? Okay? Now, if I've lost touch, right, I'll just be like, hey, how the heck are you? I can't believe we've lost touch. I just like go straight into it, right? I could kick myself for losing touch with you. You're such an awesome person. How the heck are you, right? Like that's literally how the message will sound, or the voicemail will sound, or the phone call will sound, okay? Then, after I've gotten through that, like I just gotta rip off the Band-Aid, right? Because if you just go into like conversation, it's weird. It feels weird just for them too. They're like, why are they calling me? Right? If you're like, oh my God, I can't believe you lost touch. They're like, oh cool, they just want to reconnect. Does that make sense? Okay? Then here's how the combo goes. How's the family? Right? Any big plans for the holidays? Right, write that one down. That's a good one. Right? Any big plans for the holidays? Right? How's work going? Right? Crazy that this year's almost over. Did you accomplish everything you set out to? Is there anything that I can help you with? Okay? You 100% of the time end with, is there anything I can help you with? Okay? So, hey, I can't believe we've lost touch. How the heck are ya? Great. How's the family? Any big plans for the holidays or the weekend or this Friday, right? Or you could be very specific, like any big plans for Thanksgiving or Labor Day or whatever one you want to do, okay? How is work going, right? Is there anything I can do for you? Did you accomplish everything, right? And you can do this this is like my favorite birthday combo too. Happy birthday, right? That's how you start that combo. And how's the family, right? And then, hey, any big plans for this new year, right? Like, what can I do to help you? What would make your birthday like the best ever? Like, what can I do for you, right? Do you see how easy this is? You just got to make it all about them.
Does anybody ever respond to, is there anything I can do for you with something? Because people always say to me, oh, no, I'm fine. And then I'm like, what? That felt weird. Like, that happens to you? People say, oh, can you help me with X, Y, or Z?
All the time, and most of the time people feel like you're being insincere. Okay, so from this conversation, they should have said something to you that is a trigger, right? If you're looking for what problems you can solve, right? If they're like, gosh, you know what, the kids are good, it's just been so bananas lately, I'm trying to balance work and school pickups, I mean, it is nuts. Like that would be something that somebody would say. Well, is there anything I can do for you? I mean, do you need help with pickup? I mean, I read this really amazing book on time management. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and send that to you. Right? They said it. That you just have to be paying attention. Now, if your only goal is to get through frog, you're like, cool, how's the job? Great, big plans, right? Like, yeah, it's going to be a little weird. You know what I mean? But you should be listening for what problems you can solve. Especially, hey, have you ever thought about moving closer to school?
I can help you with that.
Right? Like, I mean, seriously, if you were really looking to help provide solutions, have you ever thought of that? God, it's a 45-minute commute. Have you ever thought about moving closer to work?
And if you put yourself out there, make sure it's something you can do, because I offered, oh, congratulations on the new baby. Is there anything I can help you with? Yeah, I babysat for like 6 hours, and he was like 2 months old. And so, you know, I mean, when you say that, you know, if there's something that they're gonna respond with, you know, I made it happen. You know, I cleared my schedule, and they were forever grateful, because they were, you know, starting new jobs and stuff.
Did they specifically say, I need you to babysit, or they said, I need a babysitter?
They basically said, we have exhausted all family and friends, and we know you live in the neighborhood, and we're past coworkers, and would you, by any chance, for just a few hours, be able to come over and sit with the baby?
Here's what I would say, honestly. The thing is, they're asking you directly.
Yeah.
One thing is, like, just because somebody has a need and asks you for help doesn't mean they're asking you specifically, right? Like, if they said, God, we've exhausted all friends. You know what? I know of the world's best babysitter. Oh my God, this girl is like highly sought after. Let me see if she's still available. When do you need her? Right? You probably could have found a better babysitter. You know what? I would love it. You know who else I've got? I've had this, right? You just deflect. You answer the question, you're like, you know what else? I actually know of an amazing babysitter. Are you open to people who aren't ex-coworkers? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, there's always something. Yes, and people will ask. You just have to know that they're not 100% asking for you physically to do it. Okay? I had to learn the hard lesson once. Somebody was like, they asked you for help on building a bed. They didn't ask you to physically go and build their bed. And I was like, oh my God! Why am I building a bed? You know? So you just have to be aware. Okay. So once you get all of their contact information, guys, a really good heartfelt letter is super important, okay? I've included one that I wrote. Like, this is literally mine from 2 years ago. It's on your very last page. And if you want to see what it actually physically looked like, Sammy back there will send you a copy. Okay? But this is an actual letter that I sent out to my clients. Here's what I think a letter has to be, okay? It has to be relevant and provide some solutions, okay? So in this letter, I was actually talking about like mindset, you know, and it was like a very difficult year for me personally. And I wrote about it. I'm like, hey, this is a really difficult year for me personally. And I had learned this amazing lesson from my two-year-old daughter at the time, okay? Like, my oldest daughter sat on her glasses, broke her glass, a lens popped out, and she was like losing her mind. Like, the glasses were destroyed. And my 2-year-old daughter, as we're calming her down, like, all of a sudden I hear, arg, arg, me. And I'm just like, what the? You know, and I turn and she's put on the glasses and she's now a pirate. It's her eye patch. And I'm like, oh my God, it's so crazy, the lessons you learn from a 2-year-old, right? But like, everything is opportunity depending on your outlook, right? It's an adventure or it's a crisis. You know, you're either a pirate or you're a puddle of tears, you know? And so I wrote that whole thing out, right? It was a sentiment that came from my heart that tells a personal story of how I've been struggling, right? And I just want to share that with them in case they're also struggling. But also I want to provide a ton of gratitude. Like, I want to tell all of the people in my life how much I appreciate the fact that they always lift me up, they always send us business, and they've got my back, right? And how if I've lost sight of that, I'm sorry, right? So I like go in here, I'm going deep, right? But I'm providing a personal story. Who's the hero, right? Who's the hero? They are, because I'm thanking them, right? And then I'm providing maybe a solution for them, right? But if nothing else, I'm getting them to buy deeper into my story, okay? You want to send out a personal letter. My letter this time, and if you want a copy of that too, you can let Sammy know, is going to be about my experience with the last recession, okay, and how not to panic, right, and what it did for me, and how I planned for it, and how I care about all of them, and if there's anything I can do, right, these were the things, and if they need anything, right, but I'm going to talk about it. It's a scary thing. It's the big elephant, right? I'm in real estate. I want to address this head on. Okay, so that's what mine's gonna be. Do you guys all remember? You all were alive back then, right? Where were you? What was happening? Did you lose your job? Is that why you're in real estate? Like, did you invest well? Did you build your career? I personally, guys, became a loan officer in 2008. Okay, I had people laughing at me. They're like, okay, is your plan to live with mom and dad? Like, people just joked, right? But they built my business then, right? There's so much opportunity to be had. So I'm gonna just face that head on. It's a personal letter. You guys should do it. It's brilliant, I promise. Okay. Then, all right. The next one is holiday parties. How many of you guys throw a holiday party? Ooh, not many of you. Okay. So, can you do a happy hour? Yes or no?
Yep.
How many of you will not throw a party? Raise your hand. Okay, so just one of you. Okay. So here's the thing. You need to have a holiday get-together. It's just another touch, right? If you don't want to host it at your house or you don't have the funds to throw a party, I'm going to give you like the best idea ever, I promise. You can do a charity event, a Give Back Friday, where you just volunteer and organize a group of volunteers. So you can give blankets to the homeless, you can feed the homeless, you can pack shoes for the kids in Mexico, you can go build a house, but you guys can arrange a Give Back Friday. Now, if you're just sending that out to a bunch of people, guess what? Right? Do they buy deeper in your story? Do they understand what philosophical problem you're solving, right? That your business solves, right? And it doesn't cost you any money, and you'll get face-to-faces, and guess what? When you're working on something together, you just bond. I mean, that is some cool stuff, okay? So, how many of you guys do volunteer work? Okay, cool. Lots of you in the room. That's an easy thing to do. I do Give Back Fridays, first Friday, October, November, December, and January. Okay? So I do them too. It's super fun. All right, and you can invite all of your clients. Like, you would be surprised. You can invite all your clients, your past coworkers, right? They can get a baby Bjorn and start helping you, okay? Right? Remember that babysitting gig I did for you? Right? Okay. How many of you guys are good at gifting? Okay, how many of you guys like receiving gifts? Oh, come on, that's a universal love language. You all love receiving gifts. Let me tell you. Okay, easy, fun gifts. I have a ton of them, and let me tell you, the cheesier, the better, I promise. Best gift I ever gave out was turkey basters right before Thanksgiving, guys. Best gift ever, and it was like, don't leave your lending to a turkey. People freaking loved it. Then, for 4th of July, I gave out little mini A1 sauces, and I was like, thanks for being on my A-team. Right? People love it, I promise. They really love cookies. They really love Godiva chocolates. Guess what? Both of those things are $2.50. Can you afford $2.50? Can you afford 10 of them? Right? Can you afford 20 of them? Right? You can do this. People love little gifts. They just want to feel appreciated. Like, all of you can relate to a time when you didn't feel appreciated and or seen. In fact, you can probably think of a time this week when you didn't feel appreciated and or seen. Okay? Right? So just know that these things go a long way. People love them. Okay? And I've got like a ton of cheesy ones. Okay? I got like sparkling cider. Hope your holidays sparkle. It's all gravy when you refer me. Right? When you decider on a loan officer, right? You could say you decider on a realtor, right? These things are hilarious, I promise. Okay? And people love them. Other thing I've sent out, guys, scratcher tickets, right? People love scratcher tickets. I don't care if they win $1 or they win $500. They call you and they're like, I won $1! Like, it's so funny. You're like, awesome. Go buy another scratcher ticket. Okay? So people love gifts. Then, does anyone have questions on this? Don't spend more than $2.50.
They're probably not going to call you and say, hey, I won $100,000.
You know what though? I had a guy win $500 and he posted on his Facebook this really long message about how I guess he was having a financial hardship. He had like hurt his car or whatever, and the $500 was like the difference maker.
Good timing, huh?
And I was like, yeah, it still gives me chills. Honestly, the whole thing is crazy. You would just never know, right? But they win, and boy. Whew.
I had somebody text me 2 weeks ago saying they won $700 on it, and that it was for their birthday, and then they're going to Cabo for their birthdays. They're like, thanks for all the drinking money.
Right? Hey, but that's awesome. You know what else is really fun? $2 bills. Right, for people's birthdays. Those always get a ton of comments because people have childhood memories of $2 bills. Right? They're like, gosh, I remember when my dad gave me that $2 bill. Right? That's what the tooth fairy does in my household. Yes. I don't spend $2 more than $2 on anything. Yay. All right. How many of you guys can do a contest, right? This is another way to engage socially, right? Where you don't have to spend a lot of money, right? So if you want people to participate in your contest, there should be some sort of like prize. You know what I mean? But people can do like a pumpkin carving contest, like holiday decoration contest. What else can you do? I don't know. Best organization contest. I'm drawing blanks. But the thing is, there's literally Halloween pumpkins right now, and there's a lot of people who decorate for Christmas. Okay? So if that was something that you could do, right, this is a contest, and everyone will post use your hashtag, right, to enter to win. Okay? Right? And you can make the rules whatever you want, right? If you sold them a house, right, if they just mention you in their post, they've got to tag you, which they'll probably say, my amazing real estate agent is hosting a contest, right, for the best decorated house, go and vote for me, right? Right, you're just getting your name out there a bunch, right? And you're just contacting, it's another way to contact people, okay? Have any of you guys ever done a contest? Okay, what was your feedback? Did you get a bunch of people to do it, yes or no?
I feel like if I had something better, like those two ideas, it would have been better, but it was more of like, what do you guys want to see? And then, like as content related to real estate, and then what the majority wanted was the person that won. So it was
So, you know what's challenging about those when you leave it open-ended like that? Is people have to see themselves as the hero, and you have to be the guide. So you literally have to guide them to the right answer. So it has to be so simple for them that they can do it. Okay, so like if you were saying, I'm going to do a post on A, B, or C, which one would be the most relevant for you, right? You would probably get a whole bunch more people to respond because it's an A, B, or C. Right? It's an option closed. Right? If people have to think more than just an A, B, or C, you just won't get a bunch of responses. If I ever want it to be like real estate related, I actually do a giveaway based on a money tip or a giveaway based on my blog post. Right? So I'm going, hey guys, if you watch this video and leave me a comment on the thing that you learned, first 10 comments will get the copy of the book. Right? And one time I got 68 comments. So you would be really surprised like how people respond, but it has to be so specific. Watch this video, tell me one thing you learned. Right? Like they can't tell me like what they want to learn. I just say do this, and then do this.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. John, what was your response back on your contest?
Well, I typically try to do one every month, like in a personal group for all my past clients.
Oh.
Yeah.
How's that going?
Good.
Yeah, what do? You just raffle it off?
Yeah, I just raffle random things off. Like I got season tickets to Dimebacks this season, so like I always have tickets to give away and stuff like that.
Hey, that's really awesome. Are you getting any referrals that people post, about you while you're there?
Yeah. I usually get about 3 or 4 referrals a month from there. It's just whether those referrals pan out credit-wise, which you would know.
I would really know. Right, those are the solutions I provide.
Yep.
Okay, so here's what's really awesome. Your rule should always ask for some social proof. Hey guys, in order to enter the contest, here's what I need. You're going to win these things. I'm going to pay for this, but I'm going to need you guys to post about it while you're there. Right?
And I also do it for my client events where I'll tell everyone to take selfies at the event and post them, and then I'll use all those people and just like raffle off giveaways for the event.
So that's a perfect segue. So every quarter I do a happy hour event for clients that have closed for that previous quarter. And we have all kinds of games that they play. So they have like this gigantic cactus with felt, and they throw a ball in different like money categories. right? But they get the number of balls based on, like, did they give me a review? Did they post on social media? Are they using our hashtag? Are they doing all these things? We're actually also incorporating this into our new buyer guide. So I'm gonna hope, it's just fun to get the social proof, right? For people to be able to enter and do things. It is super fun. Right? Like if you want a day where you're going to really boost up your social media, it's those days, and you can get the client testimonial videos that you need for your social media. Okay? So that is really huge. Okay. Number 5 is you can host a holiday themed open house at one of your listings. Right? So you can have a haunted house, you can have a pumpkin giveaway, pumpkin giveaway, you can have a pie giveaway, you can do photos with Santa. Right? All of these things are just related, right? And you're just inviting people to be able to do something for them, right? So you're providing a solution like Christmas photos or a holiday pumpkin or whatever, but you're reminding people that you are a real estate agent that provides solutions. Okay? And I will tell you that you will get those freeloaders who just take, okay? That's humans, you know what I mean? However, the majority of people that actually come to your event will genuinely want to help you. Okay? You just have to make sure that you are asking for the help when they get there. It's like, oh my God, so great to see you. It's been forever. Thanks for coming for the pie. Is there anything else I can do for you? Right? Like, they better be going like, oh, honestly, thank you so much. What can I do for you? Do you know what I mean? So really, really great thing. Just to always remember to end with, is there anything else I can do for you? Okay? All right. So let's see here. Social media stories about the holidays, any social proof that you have on the contest, right, on your event that you're doing, post a photo album, anything that you can do, right, to give yourself that social proof and recognition, okay? This is actually an area that most people miss, right, because they forget to post the pictures of the people at their Christmas party, right, and to thank them for coming and to tag them for coming and to say something nice about them. Whenever you post social proof, right, of things that you're doing, so Facebook will send it out to 12%, right, so not a ton, but 12% of their audience, right? So if they've got somebody who loves them to death, they will see that they were at your happy hour and that you honored them, right? So what does that do for you, right? Well, if that person has ever thought about real estate, right, and they've engaged and they've liked that comment, right, it actually builds a triangle of trust. They love that person, they're highly engaged with them, that person loves you, right? So they automatically assume some sort of level of trust with you, okay? I've actually gotten quite a few deals on housewarming parties for that same thing, okay? I'm there at the event, right? I make a photo album of the event, I post that photo album online, I start thanking all the people for coming, I send them a really nice DM, and then, right, I send them a really nice DM, and then hopefully I'm developing that relationship, okay? Then people who weren't able to attend that housewarming party, they comment on the photo album. And they're like, man, it looks like a great time, I'm bummed I missed it. And then you have the opportunity to like it and be like, we missed you there, right? Like, hey, I would have loved to have met you, right? It's your opportunity, but it's that whole triangle of trust. Okay, so I just don't want you to forget about it, because lots of people will go to a housewarming party and then they were too insecure to get the contact information, and then they don't know how to follow up afterwards, right? And if your only goal to follow up afterwards is to sell them a house, it's just too much. It's very aggressive. Okay, like if you went there to post and say how awesome it was to meet them, and then ask them about their family, and then maybe what their plans were for the year, right? And if there's anything you can do to help them, it's a completely different ballgame. Okay? Awesome. All right, number 8, right? Oh, number 7, 30 days of thankfulness challenge in November. This is a legit thing for you dudes. You should do Movember, right? Grow out your mustaches, right? Like, this is really, really important, right? If you have an everyday gratitude thing, do you think that people won't notice? Right, and guess what? You're also going to inspire other people to do it too. Okay? But it just makes you, first of all, it should make you a better person to be more grateful, but it lets other people know how great you are too. Okay? So I love that. I actually stole that from Daniel Barraza. It's his most engaged time of year. Like, he has hundreds of people commenting on his 30 Days of Thankfulness. Okay? All right, number 8 is post about community events. Okay, this is another way that you can provide value, like where are the best Christmas lights, where are the best pumpkin patches, where are the best haunted houses, where are the best places to donate your time, to drop off your goods, right? To, do Christmas angels or whatever, right? You could be that person that's constantly letting people know what to do. I am kind of going to kick myself because I dropped off on this, but one of the cool things that I used to do is I used to send out the traffic closures to all my real estate agents on Friday. The road closures, wasn't that legit? I don't know why I stopped, right? But again, it's easy, it's for free, it just costs you a little bit of time. Okay, Arizona Central is an awesome place to get all the information. In fact, guess what? You just Google best haunted houses in Phoenix. And then you just copy paste. It's nothing. Okay? Alright. Then 9, we talked about this give back thing in another one, but again, reiterate your volunteer opportunities. And then number 10 is get other businesses involved in what you're doing. Okay? This is an awesome time of year to highlight local businesses, local business owners. If you have clients who own businesses or in sales, right, this is an awesome time to spread the word. Okay? Case in point, I have a guy who works for ADT, the security alarm system. You best believe I'm going to be promoting his business. You know why? Because who vacations during the holidays? Everybody. Yeah, right? This is a really, really great time for me to help his business. The other thing is I have a girl who deals with water damage, right? Guess when it rains? The holidays. Do you know what I mean? This is your time of year when you can really start showcasing businesses of people who've helped you, right? Or restaurants, or community centers, or churches, or whatever, right? This is your time to really help showcase other people. And again, right, you are providing solutions, right? So my clients own homes. They might have flood damage. They might need insurance. They definitely need alarm systems. Does that all make sense? Okay, can you do this? Okay. Now, we got a couple of minutes left, and I've gone through my list, but I wanted to find out from you guys, okay, what's one, thing that you're going to implement? What's one thing that you're yes, I want to do that? Okay, can I just...
Spending $2 an item.
Yeah. That, honestly, you would be surprised how many people want to spend $10 and $20 an item.
Yeah, when you're saying that's 150, 200 people.
Yeah, you can't even do it, right? And also it loses its luster, right? You know what I mean? Because I've always found too, if you're really trying to go overboard with let's say you want to send everyone a bottle of wine, okay? In order to send a couple of bottles of wine, if you're going to send 100, you're going to buy maybe a $12 bottle of wine, and then they're this is a $12 bottle of wine. You know what I mean? You're laughing because you'd probably do that, right? This is what happens, right? So, but if you got an A1 sauce, right? The sentiment's there. You laughed. If you got a relish, you're oh, I relish the opportunity to work with you. You laugh, right? And that's the overall goal you want, is for them to think of you, right? And for them to have a good emotion, right? Humor is a good emotion. That leave Lizzie alone, guys, I came up with it when I was 23 years old. Okay, and it has stayed because of how people's reactions to it. People are I don't get that. I don't know why she wants people to leave her alone. And then 3 days later, they're oh my God, it's alone, right? Yeah, right? So cheesier, the better, and $2 max, $2.50 max. Okay? All right, what's one other thing you're going to implement? Let's go over here. What do you think?
I have a question.
You're not, yeah?
Okay, so do a lot of charity things, but I have a hard time kind of tying it in with real estate. My husband and I, we go do silent auctions, and we go to things like that. So I don't know if maybe donating or...
if you're gonna, so here's the deal. If you're donating, it's not as effective. You know how people go, hey, for every real estate transaction, I'm gonna donate. It kind of works, right? But if people don't see you there physically, it doesn't have the same
Resignation.
Yeah, so let's say you're gonna donate $200 to Phoenix Children's Hospital. everyone loves Phoenix Children's Hospital, but it would really seal the deal and really get them behind your cause if you did a volunteer event at Phoenix Children's Hospital and maybe you were wrapping gifts. Or donating books, or spending quality time, and you can invite people to do that, and so then your $200 becomes way more meaningful. And then in your letter of the heart, you guys, hey guys, I donated $30,000 to Phoenix. We donated $30,000 to Phoenix Children's Hospital.
Thank you.
Okay. Oh, did that help tie it full circle for you?
Thank you at the end of that for.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Because they're the hero.
100%. That was my letter of the heart last year, guys. I got to repay my college scholarship, right? Like, I repaid it because I was like, well, if I'm successful, I need to pay this forward. And I was like, thank you guys. You just hit I hit a bucket list item because of you, right? Like, and now because of what we were able to donate, 3 other girls get to go to college on a full ride. Isn't that nuts? Don't you feel good about that? Like, that feels great. So, if you're going to donate money and people, like a silent auction, it's hard. Like, but if you could get people to volunteer for your cause, and then you just constantly say, hey guys, this is what I'm about. Hey guys, we're volunteering. This is what we're doing. You know, it'll really tie it all in. Okay, I'd love to hear what that is though. What charity are you supporting?
Oh, it's the Tears Foundation for people that have lost infants.
Oh gosh. Okay, so I imagine that's probably very close to your heart. Okay, so I mean, again, how many of you guys know who Brittany Salaya is? Okay, you should follow her on social media, right? She talks about her whole entire journey of losing a baby, right? And what that's done, how it impacts her real estate business, how it's impacted her new baby, right? How she's incorporating that in with all these feelings of guilt and being a working mom and all. I mean, it's crazy, but people really bought into her story. They support her. They cherish her, right? When she does a charity event, because she's going to do something similar, they get it. Does that make sense? So sharing pain, guys, is always helpful, right? It's because it makes you real. Like, social media is just like a bunch of really your best photos, okay? We just gotta be real, right? We gotta tell them the time that you got fired from your job, right? Everyone's been rejected, okay? We can tell them that, hey, you know what, my life was really shitty. I almost got a divorce and my daughter was a pirate, you know? Like, that's what happened, you know? Like, but people get it, right? They, like, buy into you, right? So don't be afraid to be vulnerable, okay? Especially in the holidays, people are very receptive and they love you. Like, if you ever want to test the strength of how much people love you, just let them know in a time where people feel the most grateful, you will just realize how blessed you are. It's cool. Okay, who else? Chris Medina, what nugget did you get today?
The thing that I think that people lose track of when getting in touch with their database, a lot of agents I talk to, they always say the same thing. I don't know what to say, I don't know what to talk about, I don't know what to get into. And using forward and then playing off of that, right? Actually listening to what they talk about. I know that's a big challenge because so many people are focused on, okay, referral or this or that or whatever, and forget to invest in the actual people and what's going on. So following those things, taking those mental notes and actually engaging is going to get you further than anything else that you throw out there. It's still a relationship business, and you build that by those personal conversations. I think we tend to forget that. You know, that's one of the questions you mentioned first is, and we heard this at SoCon in October, and the guy said, everybody asks agents in here, how many times a week does somebody ask you how the market is? Like, one of the first questions that they haven't seen you in a while. What's everybody saying? What's your natural answer right now?
Great.
Great.
Who else?
I mean, that's what most people say.
So my answer to that would be, why do you ask? You just say great, they're shut down, they're done. Okay, cool. His response is, why do you ask? Because maybe they're looking at selling, they're looking at buying, maybe they're an investor. You don't know. You can shut the conversation down now or continue and get to what their needs actually are. So thinking deeper, just like your method with forward and really digging in, that's another way to kind of dig in and really get those answers.
Guys, this is why he's my title partner. Okay, like, just so you guys know, that is literally who I use for title. He's amazing, another wealth of knowledge. You can tell that we're just like in sync, right? If you need additional help, right, other than the awesome nuggets I provided you, he's another great resource. Will you stick around afterwards and make sure everyone's got your, okay, cool. Alright guys, so we started a little early, so we're gonna end a little early. But I do want to ask you one last question. If you got value from this class, I need you to raise your hand. Okay, cool. Well, I'm not a motivational speaker. I'm a hungry loan officer, and I'm dying for you to leave me alone. Okay? So, if you got value from today's class, it would mean everything to me if you would send us your next deal. Okay? So, thank you guys so much. I'm going to be sticking around afterwards for individual questions, but I love and appreciate you guys and hope you have the most kick-ass holidays.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lizy.
Hey, did you get some stuff? Well, you wrote some notes down, so that makes me feel good.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. You guys are also focused. I love it. Oh. I know. I'm a dork. Hi. Nice to meet you. I'm Lizy, by the way. Courtney. Hey, Courtney. Nice to meet you. I know. I like your side pony. We rocked that today. High five. I know. Well, I was honestly, I'm like, am I too old for this? And then I saw you wearing it. I'm like.